Hi, I'm Brian and welcome to a 3 plays, 3 picks video. And in these videos, what I do is listen to an album that I haven't listened to for ages and it's still in my collection, or one that I've just bought recently and I haven't given a listen to yet, because I find that sometimes I buy an album, I stick it into the crate, and then I don't listen to it ever, and I look back on it in about a year's time and go, what the hell was that for? Anyway, this time we're going to choose an album which I've just recently got. The Sunburned Sailor picked this up for me at Super Trash Antiques, and it was Adam Ant, Friend or Foe. Now, this album's seen a bit of love. You can see the ringwear, the stickers, but there it is in all of his pomp and glory. 12 songs on this album. Came out in 1982, and we've got pictures of the band there. Generally, Adam and Marco Peroni, who he worked with, and they recorded all the songs or wrote all the songs together. And there are the lyrics on the back, which are kind of cool. And there's Marco and there's Adam. Really enjoy this. I didn't know that Adam played the bass on it, but that's what he did. Anyway, it comes out on this old traditional CBS logo, and I think this is an OG, as in OG Australian, only one press. So how did I get into Adam Ant? Well, it's from Adam and the Ants, I suppose, like most people, and this single, which was Ant Music. One of the great songs that has that certain unique style, this unique sound about it. It's the full package. It's one of the great singles of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Though at the time, I didn't really admit to liking it too much, because I think it was keeping something that I really liked off the #1 position on the charts in Australia. So couldn't admit to liking Adam and the Ants, but what a song. And I love the singles at this time. Dog Eat Dog. So cool. What a great song. And then from the Prince Charming period, we've got Stand and Deliver. Oh, oh, your buddy, all your life. Oh, so the question, so I'm doing a little bit more of a deep dive, and I saw this at Super Trash the other day, and it was $10. And yeah, okay, it's beaten up, but I'm more interested in what's on the vinyl. And the vinyl plays great. And the Sunburned Sailor decided to gift me this album. So he's a very reasonable man, shelling out that $10 for me. Thank you, Sunburned Sailor. But anyway, so what do I think of this album? Is it worth keeping, or is it going to get purged? Or is it going to become sort of like a classic in my collection? How about we find out? So the title track leads us off on side one, and it is obviously called Friend or Foe. And this is the second single, and it did chart well, particularly in Australia. And this retains, Adam Ant is retaining the Burundi drum feel on this, and he doesn't do it on all songs throughout the album. He just mix and match, and I suppose it's an idea of making sure that the Adam and the Ants fans are going to want to come with him on this journey to prompt those memories, but also to show a direction that he's probably going into the future. And they particularly use the Burundi drums on the chorus, but to me, the subversive verses are where the real meat of the matter is. I really love these verses. I love the wacky breakdown in the middle of it. It's with those breathy vocals. It's really cool. And they also use horns on this song, and I'm not a huge fan of horns in music, but here they really work, and they sort of accentuate and punctuate the rhythm, which is really cool. And the lyrics themselves are a statement of intent. Listen to this. Take it up or leave it. I'm not going to change a bit. If it means heartache, then leave it out for your sake. I tried and I tried to take care of my insides. Nobody's perfect, so leave me if you object. Well, there we go. It's a great song. Great song. Really challenging me from the start to make that one of my picks, but I'm not going to. So if there are 3 better songs on this album, we're looking at something that's pretty good. And the next song we go on to sort of abuses me of that idea, or disabuses me of that. I can't remember which one it is. It's called Something Girls. And I'm not a huge fan of this. It's got a real music hall, old style shuffle sort of feel to it. And it took me too far back. I remember when I was about 10 years old, my parents took me to the last music hall that I think might have been in Sydney at Neutral Bay. And kind of enjoyed that performance, eating while the show's going on and all that sort of stuff. But this took me far too back. And the whistling section in this reminds me of Otis Redding and Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. And I feel much more stable in that zone, quite strangely. This song, unfortunately, makes me wish that my record player came with a skip button. Place in the Country is next, and the Burundi drums are going off again. And this time, want you to think about it. If you're crossing the Burundi drums with a semi-professional theatre company, because isn't he into theatre? I mean, that's what Adam and the Ants is all about. So Burundi drums, semi-professional theatre company doing an obscure version of Gilbert and Sullivan, of a Gilbert and Sullivan play, then I think that's where you're going to find your place in the country here. And the interesting thing is, I think it was on the third time that I was listening to this, the song that really jumped in my mind was Beyonce's All the Single Ladies, that song. And I thought to myself, that's very interesting. Of course, that drum pattern have been in the popular cultural minds for a long time. Next song is Desperate But Not Serious. This is the third single, and this gives me the sense of a late 60s spy thriller, something gritty and really cool. Those twangy guitars, this beautiful bass line, and it's got an ominous feel all the way through it. And there's even a percussion accent that sounds like a pig snorting, which I'm not going to do because we get mucus and snot all over the screen, and I don't think we really want that, do we? I don't think we want that at all. Anyway, very much new wave pop, and I dig it. Sounds like the horns are put in a little bit of a key change towards the end, and I'm not too thrilled about that. But the solo finishes absolutely maniacally. It's really cool, and then segues back to the song. Again, interesting lyrics here. If I ask you difficult questions, if I make improper suggestions, would you find that a risk to your health? Would you put me up on the bookshelf with the books and the plants? I get the books, but with the plants coming, it's a little bit too much information maybe, but it does create an image of an IKEA-ish image. Anyway, great song, definitely one of my picks, Desperate But Not Serious. Then we go to Here Comes the Grump, and it's a very mechanical start to it. We've got a different sort of drum features working here, and it's really stuttered, and it revolves around the idea of when you get to number one, the only way is down. I love the vocal here, and I'm getting a real Roxy Music vibe to it, which is never a bad thing. The guitar by Marco, the solo is wonderfully melodic, and I really dig the choice to double track or lay out all of Adam Ant's vocals here. Which I suppose the drum track's just a little bit unremarkable. Still, it's a great song, and it really grew on me. The first time I played it, I went, that's interesting. Second time I went, no, I was being a bit too critical and thinking it's not good enough. But the third time I went, well, it's affecting you. I want to hear it again. And so it became my second pick from this album. Then we get up to what is obviously, from reading a few people's thoughts on this album, the number one, point of difference, shall we say, the sticking point, the song that jumps out, and it is a cover version of The Doors' Hello, I Love You. And it's been panned in every review, but I kind of like it. The verses are exciting, and I love the the industrial grunt that replaces the slide guitar which goes back to sidewalk crouches at her feet like a dog that begs for something sweet. So hopefully I've got the lyrics there in mangled. They do a great job. And I suppose my only complaint about this entire cover version is I don't know that they went far enough with it. I'm into it. I thought it was great, and a pretty damn good way to finish off the first side. So let's go straight over onto side two. And side two opens with Goody Two Shoes, which was a huge hit in Australia, went to number one. And one of the it's very, very catchy. And another reason is because it does have that Burundi drum feel, and it's pulling along his fans from Adam and the Ants and Marco's fans from Adam and the Ants. But here we have a sort of situation where it's Burundi meets rockabilly. So we've got some sort of Burundability here, or Burundabilly here. I don't know, it's not really for me, but I know a lot of people obviously loved it to death. And then we move on to Crackpot History and the Right to Lie. For me, this is definitely an album track, shall we say, an album track. It's again, if you're stuck with this album on a desert island, you get into this song after a little while. There's no doubt about that, because it does have a Buddy Holiday, not fade away sort of feel to it. But I'm just after a little bit more in my groove at this stage. Having said that, I suppose a lot of what I've said so far would contradict that. Anyway, weird lyrics again. Here we go. I wish that everyone could see a show by Liza Minnelli. Such a marvelous lady with talent by the ton. And that's about the most interesting lyric from that song. On to Made for Money. And there's some really interesting and exciting moments of guitar that Marco does on this track. but it's just another album track to me. Love the vocal aerobics towards the end. Adam's going off as he should do, and the lyrics are revealing him as being a quite bitter human being at this point. I know he's going through massive medical issues, and also the disbandment of Adam and the Ants, and the way that Prince Charming was received. But here we go. He's got, I may smile and act so sunny, but this boy is not your dummy. Marriages are made in heaven, so what the hell happened to mine? It's a really cool song, but it's just not going to be a pick for me in this situation. Cajun Twisters is the next song, and this is post-punk, funk, funk. It's just got that really sort of the need to funk out a bit, but it all comes down to the drums in this song, which is where they're getting the source of their funk, when I really think it should be in the bass. Now, Adam has played some great bass all the way through this album, definitely, but he's not sort of a funky bass player, which is showcased on this song. It's cool, but it's just a little bit underwhelming in terms of I want a little bit more with my funk. Makes sense? I suppose so. And then we go on with this beautiful pun, try this for size, as in try this for size, S-I-G-H-S. Interestingly enough, we've got the sound of those drumsticks from ant music on the concrete, and then a horse enters the studio and picks up Adam and he goes, stand and deliver the money of your life. I'm going back in time to when everything was right. Sort of. I mean, anyway, it's an okay song. There's no doubt about that, but there's a tendency to also feel that maybe they're running out of ideas a little bit. Put down those drumsticks, as Pete Garrett. Put down those drumsticks. Anyway, we come up to the last song, and it's a sort of instrumental and created by Marco and really showcasing Marco's guitar playing on it. It's called A Man Called Marco. So this is his opportunity to shine, and it seems like a weird choice to end an album, but it is sublime. It is an absolutely awesome piece of music which just yells new wave to me all the way through. Adam supplies the backing vocals, and they're more like backup chanting, which really give another texture to this song. We've got the surf music mixed with Italian spaghetti western sort of feel to it as well. We've got that sort of which fits into sort of the ant music sort of stuff that they've been doing, but this takes it to another place. Now, it also references, or doesn't reference, but in my mind, I put together this song and moments of this song with my favorite song of Brian Ferry's In Your Mind, Love Her Madly Again. It sort of gets me going in this. The solo whistling at the end recalls references to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack by Sergio Leone. I mean, this is, where is it down there? It's A Man Called Marco, that one. And I would say if you're only going to listen to one song off this album, which would be completely non-representational of the album, it would be Man Called Marco. It is beautiful, it is sublime, it is wonderful, and it is definitely my first pick, not my third. So what do we have in terms of our three picks? What do we have? We had Desperate But Not Serious. We had Here Comes the Grump. And then we had A Man Called Marco. You know what? I'm really glad I picked up this. I'm really glad, thanks to the Sunburned Sailor. I'm really glad I picked up this because it does feel sort of a hole here from me getting to Adam, from Adam and the Ants to Adam Ant. And I've got a lot of joy out of listening to this in my three picks. And I'm not only going to be leaving it at that, I'm conceiving myself getting it out again, if only to hear Man Called Marco, because that gives me a lot of pleasure. And a reminder to you, if music of any size, shape, style, sound, or Desperate But Not Serious gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to see some more videos, there you can find them up there in the music reviews. There might be just something which helps you out and helps you to enjoy more music or discover more music. But until next time, I'm Brian, and I hope you're doing really well, staying safe, and bye now.